it's true, Aaron, because the coach wants you to play through difficulties.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
how you develop.
yeah,
Guys, let's be honest. Let's be honest, guys. To those of you who are on the set right now, as I said to you guys before, you have questions, please text your questions to Aaron.
yeah,
And so Aaron would be able to answer some of the questions with his transition, what he's doing now. His season is about to start just now again, and they're about to go forward. I think, Aaron, you have about what, 12 to 15 games, I believe?
yeah. So we're in a conference of 14 teams.
Yes.
So we have about 13 games, and then it goes on into the tournament. So it'll be about, yeah, 15 games or so.
Yeah, and it's it's a lot of traveling for these games, Aaron.
Yeah,
A lot of these games have different traveling to different states, as Aaron would mention to you. Some of these games you travel 5 hours to play a game, and then you jump back in a bus, 5 hours again to come back home.
yeah,
And this has nothing to do with your schoolwork, okay, guys? This
yeah,
has no excuses that you didn't hand in your papers to your professor. This this, this has nothing to do with that. You have 5 hours drive. You need to find a place in the bus where you can sit down, and you need to get busy with your work so you can hand in your papers when you reach.
yeah,
This is basically this has nothing, it has no excuses pertaining to this, because guys, this all goes with your scholarship.
yeah. So I see a question from Zion Williams. He
Sure,
said,
sure.
what happens if you miss an early morning session? So what would happen is that, um, first of all, coach would realize that someone's missing in the group, and he would be really angry, to be honest. Most likely, he would either make that person run, or he would make everyone else on the team run, and let that person watch you run. So that's the kind of punishment that would go on, and he would definitely get a strike for that. So to be honest, there was this guy that overslept twice um in the preseason, and he actually came to training late twice. He missed his ride, he overslept, and he had to run, and he got 2 strikes. So he only has 2 more strikes left for these 4 years. So he probably is really scared right now and doesn't want to get another strike. But um, as I said, you only have well, according to our program, you only really have like 4 chances, or four times that you can mess up like that. But to miss an early morning session is definitely not acceptable in any soccer program in the US. And you would definitely have to do extra fitness for that. And possibly, if that was your last strike, doesn't matter what it is, even if it's just missing out one practice. If that was your last strike, then there's no ifs or buts that's it there for your scholarship.
But Aaron, the question I'd like to ask you, you know why the coach had the guys stand up and watch you guys run?
so that so that it probably won't happen in the future, because everyone else would be accountable for him.
That's basically it. Is all for one, one for all. If somebody is missing, it's the team responsibility to make sure that guy is in part of the team. And if somebody is lacking, the team should know that, hey, we have somebody who is not performing at how they're supposed to perform, so we don't leave them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, you
yeah,
don't leave them. It's like the Navy in the US. We leave no one behind in the Navy over here.
yeah,
Yes, and that is how a team performs. You are responsible for your teammates, and you have to get it together, especially the captain of the team.
yeah,
Especially the captain. He carries a lot of weight for his team.
yeah.
No
He's
excuses. He has to make sure that all that is taken care of. Um, Aaron, how would you say in terms of the kids that you are playing against? Because I believe you go in an NAIA school, yes?
Yeah, correct.
Beautiful. So you will have kids on that NAIA school that is 24,
Yeah,
25, that kind of stuff
yeah,
that you would be playing because of the NAIA rules.
yeah.
Yes. Um, what the standard of football? Because I know when you were in Trinidad, you play against kids at that age bracket. How is the standard of football so far that you have witnessed and been a part of? What would you say to that part of it?
Okay, so well, just a little background of the NEIA. So my coach, actually was a freshman at 25 years old.
Mhm.
So I'm a freshman at 19 years old. He was a freshman at 25 years old in the NEI system. So that's to show that um, there are a lot of different ages and different physicalities in this NEI division. So NEI personally attracts a lot of international players from Ukraine, Portugal, Japan. I played against some kids from Japan so far, from Bulgaria. So it's a different level of football. The difference between secondary school football or football in Trinidad and then football in college is definitely the time that you have on the ball and the speed of play. You
Mm.
literally have no time on the ball. As soon as you get the ball, somebody is pressing you because they're fit enough to do so and they're strong enough to do so and they're fast enough to do so. Some of the kids are really tall. I wouldn't say kids, they're basically adults. So some of them are really tall and strong, physical in the air, fast, fit to chase you down for whole 90 minutes, to press you. As soon as you get the ball, you have to play one and two touch. You have to have a one and two touch mentality. You'd rarely ever get chance to take more than two touches, and if you do, it's because of a mistake in the opposition's team's structure, and that would be the reason for that. Um,
Interesting, Aaron. Interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead. Interesting.
yeah, but in terms of the technical side of things, I would say that I was able to fit in well, probably mainly because during this whole COVID um, time of COVID, I was really training, working on my technical abilities by myself, on the court that I had by my home, in the field, with coaches from QPCC like Coach Khalil, with the Guru Gang, with John O'Keen and Luke. Um, we were really doing a lot of technical training. And when I came up here, I realized it was much of the same concept. So I was able to adapt quickly and probably stand out technically. So that really helped, especially the trainings that I would do by myself, because I was able to work on my weaknesses, work on my dribbling, work on my touch, all these things. So the main difference I would say is that the physicality and fitness and strength that you have to have, because I know that Trinidadian footballers are really technical and really talented, but it's the discipline that you have to be 100% fit all the time, to recover all the time, and to work on your strength and your overall physicality. So that's a major difference, I believe, and it's definitely a quicker pace.
Yeah, I think that is what has eluded us in the Caribbean region and in Trinidad and Tobago area. Those 2 points you just raised there. Fitness and discipline.
Yeah, for sure.
That is what has been eluding us in the Caribbean region. That fitness and that discipline. We feel that discipline is only on the soccer field. No, discipline is not. Discipline is you have to eat properly. You got to rest in the night.
Yeah,
Discipline is training is starting at a particular time. You need to get there before there and get yourself together. Discipline is organizing your mind that when you're playing a game, you're not studying about a boat ride.
yeah, for
Let's
sure.
be real. Let's be real. These things are discipline. And this is why the environment that is being created where you're going to school is there.
Yeah,
So you are in an environment that will force you. If you don't want to, it will force you to perform.
yep,
It will force you to develop and grow. It will force you to make the adjustment because if you don't, you wouldn't be there for long.
yeah,
That's basically what it is going on. You have to adjust. And this is something a lot of people don't want to do, so they're not going to get what they want to get in life and accomplish the things they want to accomplish. They just want to stay on a level keel and they want to keep it like that and they want to go forward. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's like you are, and this is something to Aaron, a perfect example. You came out of one environment and now you're in another environment. And the question I have for you, Aaron, what is this environment doing to you mentally, physically, psychologically, and spiritually?
so to be honest, this new environment is like a total different culture. Like there are no Caribbean people around. It's a whole American culture, that kind of busy lifestyle. Everybody wants to go out. Everybody wants to hang out. All those things are different. They have a different sense of humor. All these things, and the biggest change, um, physically, of course, would be on the fitness side of things and adjusting to the new climates, adjusting to the level of fitness and structure, um, that you have to obey, in terms of your defensive shape in the team. So you would have to be able to get to pressure the ball quickly and all these things. So that's pretty difficult, physically. The fact that by Tuesday we would have played 4 games in 7 days, that's very demanding physically as well. By Tuesday we'd have played 4 games in 7 days, so that's about a lot of football. um, Mentally, I would say that my mentality right now is just to be the best I possibly can be. My mentality hasn't changed since I've entered here. It's been the same. I just want to do my best, give God the glory, and just keep on doing my best and stand out in every single game that I have. So I believe that once you have the right mentality, you should stick with that mentality or keep on refining it, little things to refine it. But the mentality shouldn't really change that much. In terms of spirituality, I always try to stay close to God. I'm in a different culture now where things people don't really talk about God as much as in Trinidad. So I try to read my Bible, pray, keep in touch with my family. They will give me advice to make sure that I'm staying on the right track. Um, haven't really gotten time to like miss my family as much, but I'm definitely missing Caribbean people as a whole. I haven't got any time to miss my family that much, but I've been calling them, talking to them. I believe that they've been missing me a lot as well. So yeah, that's the differences of my mindset before coming up here and then coming up here.
Wonderful, Aaron. There's no today's Sunday, right? So both
Yeah,
of us could smile and laugh about it. There's no macaroni pie and baked chicken and callaloo and crab and callaloo and coleslaw and all that kind of stuff, right, Aaron?
yeah. But one of the days I was surprised because in the cafeteria they actually were giving out curry chicken. And I was like,
Oh boy.
but I got that was one day. But
You felt like you was my hot shop, right?
yeah, that was one. It didn't taste the same, but it was cool.
Good stuff, Aaron. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Actually, Aaron, this morning I was on a call early this morning, and some of the things that, and I know some of the people are in the audience right now. I was speaking to some girls who I got into school, and the same things you're speaking about here, I was explaining to them. Skill for skill, we could match the kids. Skill for skill, we could match them. But when coming to heart and discipline and speed and strength on and off the ball, they're going to give us a lot of problems with that because they believe in the gym. They believe in building up themselves
Yeah,
physically, mentally, and psychologically. They do not give up.
yeah, that's true.
And they play like their life depend on this
Yeah,
because this is serious for these kids. And if you have kids, and guys, let me remind you, there are thousands of schools here in the US, as I custom telling you, mentioning to you. So you could imagine these kids playing at this level, at collegiate level.
yeah,
What is happening with their national teams?
yeah, for real.
It's frightening, guys. And this is the information I always try to get across for people to have an understanding. Iran is living it now. That is why the US have about 3 or 4 different teams to be able to pick kids from.
That's true.
It's a battle to make the US team, and they rank what, 10th in the world right now. And look at the football and look at the soccer they're playing. The collegiate is the feeding ground. The collegiate soccer is the feeding ground for these coaches and these kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, to the MLS. and then over to a national team. And as you see, and I know a lot of people may laugh and they might say, well, Coach Roy, something is wrong with you. You don't know what you're talking about. But I know exactly what I'm talking about because I coach in the US. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing it. This is how I live. I live coaching soccer. This is what I do for a living, guys. So I have to be knowledgeable about what I'm speaking to you about. I'm not guessing. I do this day in and day out. It's just soccer, right? True. This is what it is. And when you see these kids at the size they are, like for instance, I have a kid right now, his name is Carter. I know he's logged in. Carter is taller than I am. And Carter is bigger than me. And he's not fat or anything. He's just lean and muscles. And Carter could play. And he's only 16 years old. I had a goalkeeper that I worked with for 3 years. And if you see Aaron, the wingspan of this kid, he played 2 sports. He did swimming and he played soccer. And this kid was only 15 years of age, and the height and the wingspan of these kids. And this kid could save. He was frightening in the goalpost. Really save. He's just getting up in the V and pulling balls out of the V at 15. Because he came from that environment of swimming and diving and all that kind of stuff. And very bright and quiet. And this is what I'm trying to get these kids to understand. The discipline and what is required for you to make it in this environment. There's nothing to go back home to.
That's true.
And I spoke to some kids this morning. I spoke to 3 kids and their parents this morning about that. What are you going to go back home to? You have to be successful in this thing. You have to win where you are. There's no turning back. And I made the comparison because we believe in Jesus Christ, Aaron. We believe that, and I know there's a lot of people in the audience believe that. And I draw a reference to them of the children of Israel crossing the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Where the Red Sea was parted and they went across, and Pharaoh was coming after them and God closed up the Red Sea. And that was it for Pharaoh. But whilst they were going their way, a lot of them were turning back and they wanted to turn back.
Yeah.
And they couldn't turn back because they couldn't get over the Red Sea again. They already crossed. So when you get over here, there's no turning back. What are you going home for? You have nothing to leave to go home for. You have to stay. Yeah. And you have to adjust to this environment, guys. And you may feel like this environment come to kill you or damage you or do you something. It ain't come to do you anything like that. It come to make you better. Yep. It came to grow you up. And Aaron is realizing that now. Aaron is growing leaps and bounds now. This environment will humble you, right, Aaron?
Yeah, that's true.
there's no puff on your shoulder when you're in this environment. It will humble you. And time management, guys, is so critical, guys. Even myself, I have to manage. I'm coaching, and they're playing, and they're studying in school. I have to manage my time. Aaron has to manage his time and his subjects and his private life. And soccer, he has to manage his time. This is not like you could go on the block and sit down, right, Aaron?
Yeah, it's not like that.
There's no block and sit down and that kind of stuff in this life. If you want to be successful, you got to do the things that successful people are doing to make it.
Yeah.
And it's competitive.
Yeah.
And on Aaron team, there's not 10 kids. You know, Aaron, I think you have about 20-something kids on your roster, 30-something.
I have about 20-something, close to 30.